What's up, boys? It's Bluers. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be going through my strategy from start to finish. I've had a few comments. I'm not going to act like I've had a lot, but I've had a few comments asking what my strategy is, and I was trying to think of a video idea for today anyway. So I'm going to be going through my strategy. It's a very good strategy. I got it from Alex G, on YouTube, and I've adapted it a little bit in my own way. But I'm going to take you through it from start to finish, like how I identify and how I sort of shortlist my trades and what I look for before I take them. So I'm going to show you from start to finish on how I take my trades and what I look for, basically. So I'm going to use this example here, Euro USD, because I'm currently in this trade at the moment. But basically the first thing that I do is I would go onto here and mark up these daily zones. I don't know why that box has moved all the way across, because it's not meant to be like that. I've marked this up correctly, I promise. Let me just fix this. So mark up these daily zones, and I've already made a video on this called Areas of Interest. It was my it was from last week, so 2 videos ago. I'll link it in the description or in the top right hand corner or whatever. But basically you mark up these zones as these are your areas of interest where you can enter trades from, or around that area. As you can see, the price is rejecting off it, so you can see that there'll be either a strong continuation off of it, or a strong rejection off of it, and that's basically gives you the best chance of winning your trades. So for this example, using Euro USD, so we have this daily zone marked out here, and so what I would look at before entering, so I'd go on the weekly, look at and determine my bias. So I do a top-down analysis, go weekly, daily, 4 hour, and then I determine my bias from that. So you can see we're watching the video back now. When I'm looking at my bias, I tend not to go against the weekly and the daily. So if the 4 hour, I tend to lean more into following the weekly rather than going against it. So if there's a trade that's got 2 out of 3, so the 4 hour and the daily going bearish, for example, and the weekly's bullish, I tend to be a bit more hesitant on that one rather than a trade that has all 3, for example. So you can obviously go more in on a trade that you have more confluences for, but you should only take the trade that you have the majority of the trend going that way. So if you have the daily and the weekly bearish, you should only be looking for sales, and if you have the 4 hour and the weekly bearish, you shouldn't be looking for sales again. So you need to have at least 2 out of 3 minimum, and if you can just keep scrolling down and they keep following, then it's almost a perfect sign to enter, as long as it's not at the bottom or the top. So yeah, so you can see we had like bullish movement up here, bullish, 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 bearish. So after that it sells on the weekly, obviously as it's bearish, and the daily is also sells as it's bearish. You can see it's correcting back a bit here, but the last lower high we have is here. Oh, what the hell? The last lower high we have is technically here. You can see there's 2 green candles sticking up there. I only use these. For it to be a valid structure point for me, it has to consist of at least 2 candles. So that is a valid structure point. This one here is not, and obviously this one here is, but it's obviously not created a lower low, so it's still bearish. So looking for sales on the daily as well, so that's 2 out of 3. And if we look at the 4 hour, so we can see here looking like kind of a head and shoulders here, So this is the last high in my opinion, and so you can see that for this to be bullish, it has to break this high, and it's rejected it twice over here. We have like some internal bullish movement, but it's not actually bullish in my opinion. So I was looking at this, and I was looking at my daily area of interest that I made, and obviously it's tapped into it over here. We're looking for sells, so we're looking for it to tap into it and reject. So see there's a few 4-hour candles over here that have rejected it, and today I ended up taking this trade after this 30-minute bearish engulfing candle here. So we were looking for sells, wanted to wait for a bit of confirmation in the bearish structure on the 30 minutes. Obviously we got a high here, a higher low, a higher high, and then a lower low and a lower high, and I entered here anticipating to make it a lower low, which we have. I like to try and enter off an engulfing candlestick if I can, or some sort of rejection like formation. So I entered off of this. The line's a little bit higher because by the time I actually got onto my phone it shot up a little bit, and I managed to get in where my line is there. Obviously we're still creating bearish structure. If we look at the 1 hour, it's definitely bearish still. But so yeah, I'm pretty happy with this trade, how it's going. On my personal account, I'm about $60 up here. On my funded, on my 50k, I'm up about 250, and on my 10k, I'm up about 60 as well. So what I also do in correlation to this is I also use Forex Factory. So if you don't know what Forex Factory is, it's basically it's got all the news on for all currencies and everything. So if we select EUR and USD, only select the high impact newses, which are the red and orange folders, and keep all of those selected as well. If we apply the filter, this will show us all the news this week. What day is it today? Yeah, it's the 6th. Yeah, that's right. So if we look on here, we can see all the news from today. So I looked at this last night because I was anticipating this trade. I looked and saw that the euro had good news at 8.15 and 8.30, and obviously if we're looking at our chart, we don't want good news for the euro. So 8.30, 8.15 for me was this bit here. So it's obviously pulled back here and then resumed going down. So I looked at here and was anticipating some good news for the US dollar. So that also added a confluence to looking for sells. And obviously there's some good news for the euro tomorrow, but I think it should be alright. And there's obviously two high impact folders for the euro, for the dollar later on in the week. So I'm going to hold this trade probably for the rest of the week and see how it goes. So yeah, that's basically my full trading strategy. So I hope you find this useful, and if you have any comments, questions about it, make sure to leave them in the comments and I will answer all of them. It's definitely working for me. As long as I follow my rules, it is pretty much not failed me. So it's only when I break my rules or rush into a trade early is when it backfires. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and good luck trading for the rest of the week. Thank you.